All right. We are in order. Roll call.
Beckwith, absent. Cheng,
Here.
Farkapisi,
Here.
Kedman, absent. Kotsinis,
Here.
Linsdau, absent. Sutton.
Here.
We have a quorum.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Warren Newport Public Library District provides the community with access to information, kindles the imagination of children and adults, and supports lifelong learning. Public comment? Anyone? Do we have any written
Yes.
correspondence?
Yes, we do have the cards. I didn't bring them. One is a thank you card from Petty Sewing for the staff bonus. The other one is from Tom and Janet Caldwell for the gift in remembrance of their grandson.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay. On page 5, we have a resolution.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it. I don't want to, but
All right, can we get a roll call for this one?
Farkapisi,
Reluctantly, yes.
Sutton,
the same, yes.
Cheng,
Yes.
Kotsinis,
Yes.
absent. Kedman, Linsdau, and Beckwith. Ayes have it.
All right. We also have a resolution in honor of Kathleen Ketman.
I would like to move that we postpone this resolution until the March meeting when we can all be together.
I second it.
All in
That's
favor?
right.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. That said, we will then skip number 7, the recess, because the honoree is not there. Consent agenda. Does anyone want to remove anything from the consent agenda? Can I have a motion for the consent?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Appointment of a policy chair.
I think we have to wait.
Yeah. I think we're gonna have to
I don't
wait.
think we have enough people here to do this tonight,
No.
so can we?
Right.
Let's postpone this to
Postpone.
the next meeting.
Yeah.
President's report is,
It's in here. It should be.
Yes.
A lot of hours, she.
Yeah, 5 hours. It's 25.
Is that right? I'm gonna count them all up with the ones.
any questions? Reports of other trustees. I'll make one report. Brian and I attended the ILA legislative breakfast yesterday. It was a good opportunity for us to meet with our local elected representatives to discuss what we do here and how they can help us in the future and how libraries in general are strengthening our communities.
Yeah, it was a nice event. We have a really good, I think, really good connections now with our legislators. Joyce Mason, who was elected, she's in the seat that Sherry Jessel formerly had. It was a very close election. Joyce has been here to visit already. She's actually had some open hours for the community to drop in and visit her. So we've already started building a strong connection with her. So I'm really happy about that. And we have, I think, pretty strong connections with other legislators as well, like Senator Bush. So yeah, it was a nice event. They changed it this year because they had some people, some patrons talk about what their libraries meant to them, and I think that was a nice touch. So hadn't done that before,
Alright.
so. Just to add on to what you said, George.
Anyone else? All right, director's report. Starting on page 27.
I have a question about the Senior Youth Services Associate or separating from the library. Are we gonna fill that position, or what's the status?
We have, we've actually changed things a little bit. Whenever we have people leave us, it's an opportunity for us to look at, that role and how to fill it. So we changed up the way we're doing things. So we have staff, there's some roles that have changed in that department, as you can see on page 28. But we're going to have different staff members responsible for different areas of the schools. So I think it's Joanne,
Joanne will do 6 through 12,
Okay.
and then
And is it
April
Scott?
will do K through 5.
is okay, that's right. And then Scott Kreninger is going to do a lot of the things with Beanstack, the service we had last year in terms of the online summer reading registration, that type of thing. So
Okay.
it's a good effort. And we're saving the library money with these changes too. I'm happy to report in terms of personnel costs. So
Okay.
it's kind of a win-win. I think it's going to work better for the department, and obviously it's better for the bottom line. So
We do have a position of 14 hours to work the desk that's been posted. That's the final piece of it.
That the former, that Jane also did?
Yes, in other words,
Okay.
there were some other
Hours
hours that
that
we needed
she-
to cover.
okay.
So, yeah, and that all still keeps it under what we had before.
Right.
and I think it's okay to say what Jane's doing. So Jane went to be head of youth services at the Antioch Public Library. So she's working under Jennifer Drinka, who you might recall, that was the youth services here.
Poaching our kids.
And I know, but it's good. And I saw Jennifer last week at a director's roundtable, and she was already talking about the great things that Jane has done already. So I'm really happy for Jane. It's obviously sad for us, but I always like to see when people leave and step into good opportunities. So it's a good thing at the end of the
There's a lot
day.
of
for
good
her.
training that happens here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Double-edged sword. I did have a question too, or one of the comment was a question.
sure.
I see somebody went to how to handle angry customers
saw that, yeah.
serving mentally ill library users. There's a man at work who drops his father off at the library who's got challenges. I just said, that is so mean of you to do to the library staff.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is just more personal curiosity, because I'm a big fan of Fancy Nancy books. Classified Fancy Nancy books, to where, to what? What were they classified under before? I'm sorry, I can't answer that, but I can find that out. You don't have to, but it
Yeah,
was so much fun.
I'll find out. It's probably
You
one of
don't need
those.
to find out, I was
Just
just.
curious.
Well, now I want to find out. I have no
What
idea.
happened to
I'm
Fancy Nancy?
Yeah.
Oh, what, did she grow up
Unfancy
and now
Nancy?
she's?
pretty confident they're still somewhere in the collection.
Fashion
Different
police,
authors.
like,
If they're written by different authors, sometimes
Oh.
they'll pull them all together anyway. But I'm not sure that's the answer.
And I don't know if Fancy Nancy's are readers or not, so it's possible, like, for example, the Elephant and Piggy books that we're into right now, you look under Willems, under the readers to find those, so maybe it was some of those things where they weren't all, I don't know, I'm just speculating.
I had one question. We're still tracking e-readers. And,
Might as well get rid of it, yeah.
Yes, we can get rid of that.
okay.
Yeah, we
All right, anything else? Anyone? If not, then we'll move on to unfinished business, board self-evaluation update. I've received responses from a couple members already. I need to get the rest, so.
George, did you get mine last night? I had a hard time getting it
I
sent
think
again.
I did. I'll double check, but I think
Okay.
it came
I
through.
kind of
I
forgot
saw
about
it.
it
I
and
haven't
all
looked at
the-
the form yet to make sure that it came through complete, but I did see the email.
So, I'm just gonna say, for me to put any comments, it wouldn't let me do it except in this itty bitty font. So I really shortened it so that it would stay in the box. So it's probably my Mac that is the problem. I don't know. But
My
I thought it
apologies on that.
submitted, but I wasn't,
I'll take a look at the
Absolutely
form and
sure.
see if
Okay.
usability is an issue there as well.
yeah, thanks.
You got mine, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We have a pretty advanced version of Adobe in our office because we use it all the time, so.
Okay, maybe I just have to
maybe it's
download it.
I didn't have any problems with it.
Well, I had trouble
You might
last
have
year
gotten it
too, so it's
twice.
just me.
I mean, because I didn't know if it went the first time.
Yeah, I think I got 2 emails from you. I don't know if it was attached to both of them. I have to collate these still.
Okay.
They're identical, you don't have to
Okay.
worry, so.
All right, well, I
Delete
just
either
wanted to be
one.
sure you got it, because otherwise I'll start again.
All right. So we'll discuss that more at the next committee of the whole. Budget capital planning overview, Ryan?
I know at the last meeting at the committee of the whole, the board expressed an interest specifically about learning more about LED lighting. So, and I mentioned that it's Kevin was definitely the person that could give a better overview than I could. So, Kevin is willing to talk about it. Any questions you might have? Because it's as I kind of alluded to last week, it's not as straightforward as just okay, we get a grant, we change out all the bulbs and we're done. So, necessarily.
It's not as simple as that. In the building, we have many different light fixtures. Some are similar, some are different, and how they operate is different as well. So when we first were looking at this last year, we thought it might be something simple that we can do in-house. So we set aside some funds this year to do some of the upgrades. So things like smaller CFLs we can change to LEDs. Those are pretty simplistic that we can do. For example, another one that's pretty simple is the lighting down in nonfiction. That's a pretty simple one to do as well. But when we get into more lighting in individual rooms, some of the controls that control that lighting play into a factor. Also on the main floor lighting. If you go out there, you see all the long bars of lights, right? Those are actually controlled through sensors that have the ability to dim those lights during the day because we do daylight harvesting because of the skylights. So how the inner workings of those play a factor into whether we can just do a bulb change out to LED or not. So the more we started looking at this, it's actually a lot more complex than what meets the eye. So I attended a ComEd. In previous years, the state was giving rebate funding to be able to do these types of projects. The state no longer does that. Actually, ComEd took over. So I attended a seminar in the fall last year, put on by ComEd and several different manufacturers. They're going to start doing this on an annual basis to help educate people like us to know what the process is now. And it was very interesting. You'd think, well, why does ComEd want to give rebate money? Why do they want to do this? Very simply, why they want to do it is they have to reinvest in their infrastructure. So to gain the dollars to doing that without charging us extra money, it only pays a benefit to them to help us put in this type of technology to lower our own costs, which then lowers their costs for infrastructure. So it makes sense when they start looking at it from that perspective, because there's so much to their infrastructure that has to be upgraded.
And we're still on coal, I think.
In some situations, others are probably different, but as a whole, when we look at our efficiencies in the building, it's not just LED lighting, it's HVAC, so how do we cool and heat the building? So there's several different aspects that I'm looking at right now, and to help me do that, I'm going to seek out some experts to help us look at the lighting. In some cases, it might sound weird, but in some situations, it might actually make more sense to change out the whole fixture than to try and cut the guts out, and modify it, and do these other things. So we're going to be looking at that and getting some expert advice on how to help us deal with that and budget for that. So again, at the onset, it seemed like it was something kind of simplistic to do, but really, it's actually more complex. And we want to make sure that what we do is beneficial to us, lowers our costs, and has a longevity to it too as well. Some might ask, well, why didn't we do this 7 years ago when we renovated the building? At that time, LED technology was not where it is today. So in a very short period of time, actually a lot of technology has changed, not only in just LED lighting, but in HVAC control and things of that nature that actually control the whole facilities. So we're actually looking at several points at this point to see where we can better utilize energy and lower our costs. So up front, there might be it might seem like that's a large cost up front, but in the long run, it's much better for us in terms of costs.
Do you think this will all be done in one fiscal year, or will it cost over multiple years?
At first, I was gonna try to do it across multiple years, but it depends upon the rebates, and we have to factor that in. That's why we need to seek out that advice to help us to understand how we can get that accomplished.
Is this something that is enough time before our budget? Because we like to have it
Yep.
done before
Yep.
our next year starts.
Some information I might be able to get. In other words, if I don't have to have a contractor come in here and change out fixtures, and if it's just a bulb change out, then that's something that we could probably do within that time frame. However, if it's more of a project of changing out a large amount of fixtures or a large amount of work that we might need to plan for and stage, then that might affect that. So it's kind of, at this point, it's kind of hard to determine that because I'm just getting that information in now.
Is the technology still changing so rapidly that we might have to do it again in 5 years, 10 years? Or have we hit a plateau that it's as efficient as it's going to be? Because had we done it, like, as you mentioned before, when we were doing the buildings, it wasn't a good time to do that.
Right.
Um,
Well, as you know, technology is always changing. So it's kind of hard for me to say that, but from what we're being told now, yeah, if we invest in the technology now, then, yeah, 10 years down the way, technology is gonna be different, of course, and probably even more efficient. But does it mean that you necessarily have to upgrade everything at that point? Probably not, maybe some areas, but even LED technology has a lifespan to it. So, everything has a lifespan. It's just a longer lifespan, and you actually use obviously less energy.
So I'm sure you're checking, is there something new coming on the market in 2 years that, or,
Well, the way it works right now, I mean, whatever the latest is right now, whether you wait 2 years, certainly you could wait 2 years.
I'm just saying, is there, sometimes, like George always seems to be in the know about what's happening in computer world,
Right.
and, is there
And this has
something-
become the computer world. Lighting is semiconductor
Right,
now.
but is there something,
The biggest changes you're seeing.
we're not gonna be 100% sure, but we know that there's nothing on the horizon about to come out.
The biggest things I've seen on the horizon are more control over ambient lighting, temperature, and color,
Right.
which is more, how do you adjust it to make it
More nuanced.
more nuanced?
Right.
Less into more efficiency at this point.
I don't care about the
We've sort of
nuance.
reached an efficiency plateau, at least it looks that way. It's a very forward-looking statement.
The
But-
other thing that factors in this is the manufacturers. Sometimes you might look at something that's on Amazon, and it's a bulb you can put in your fixture at home and control it with your smartphone or whatever. That's one type of lighting. But the lighting that we put in here is more of a commercial grade, so it's different. You're looking at different manufacturers that have huge manufacturing plants, and for them to change over those plants with any technology is like a car manufacturer. So it kind of goes along that road.
Look at
So
the
to
good
say
part.
is if there's something going to change next year or 2 years down the way, what we're looking at, what I'm sure we'd be advised on, is some of that information, but obviously what's available now. Is the way that we
The
have to
good
look
part
at it.
is, we don't have to figure it out.
Right.
We have you.
So that's kind of a real
Yeah.
rough
Makes
overview
sense, though.
of what we're looking
Mhm.
at. Now, I will say in the report, when we had our deep freeze not too long ago, opened my eyes to a couple of other areas that were not necessarily upgraded when we did the 97, not 97, when we did the 2011 rebuild. Things like the boiler and boiler control. There's a couple of facets to the building that we could do better in. So I'm going to be looking at that as well to see how we can possibly tie these two together to gain the best financial benefits from ComEd, and to take those in. So, but I'm happy to report that the building did really well during that time.
No frozen pipes
I
or
was very,
anything?
very worried about it.
Yeah.
Many sleepless nights during that.
You weren't sleeping here, were you?
No, thank goodness I wasn't.
Vernon area,
But,
they were in the paper today, they had a flood pipe.
Did they?
Yeah.
And they were just lucky, because as former Juan
Technician.
used to work for us, And they just had an employee who just happened to be there that late, was getting ready to leave. Buffalo Grove, he said, got it really bad. Every floor got everything, so.
Yeah.
So we are lucky. But I think probably means we should have somebody stay
Well,
here overnight.
Yeah.
Well,
we should.
no, the other thing too is that particular building is older.
Yeah.
Well,
So the
that's
way
what I
that
was
their
gonna
pipes are
ask,
run,
yeah.
they're run, in certain areas that aren't heated as well. I think in the one case, they had a heater in a water closet that wasn't functioning properly. So you can run in those situations.
Don't we have sensors, Kevin, maybe not throughout the building, but like moisture sensors that detect that? Like if that were to happen here, not really?
Not really.
Okay.
No. I get alerts on certain pieces of equipment.
Right.
Text alerts if something's failing or.
Well, I knew that, that's
something's
why I
failing.
asked.
Yeah, but in terms of water, no, because there's an awful lot of pipe through this building.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's
Oh,
kind
I
of
do.
like, where do you put the sensor?
Oh, sure.
You know,
It's
you-
not like or like a home
Right.
thing where you can get that for your home. It's much easier to do it.
In that
in-house.
case, it was actually a sprinkler head. It was a fire sprinkler head that leaked and then it froze and then popped and it was on an outer perimeter of the building.
And then when something does that at that time of year, it's really hard to get plumbers because they're backed up.
Well, it's actually the fire department that comes in
Uh-huh.
that does that.
For sprinklers.
When that happens, and that's what happened in that case. The fire department came in and they were actually able to route the water out the front door just because it got caught. But if it hadn't been caught, then water would have been everywhere. They would have had a lot of damage. Because it's just pure water coming out of that fire system.
When Oakland School was built, I don't know how many years ago now, that happened over the Christmas holidays in our office, and 6 special ed teachers every week got called in, and
Actually,
everything was.
that particular incident was because of a design flaw.
Right,
in their-
but it.
in their pipes.
Mhm.
And I'll ask, because this is what happened there.
Mhm.
They had a system that was always charged. So there's always water in the sprinkler pipes.
Mhm. It's called a wet system.
Yep.
Right, right.
Otherwise it'd be a dry system.
Mhm.
But it's a wet system.
was-
That's the same as ours. There's
Okay.
always water. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
there's always
Because you
water
wanted
in
to be able
pipes.
to go.
So I know what they moved to was a dry system after that, where it would only put water in the pipes if there was a fire alarm that was detected.
Yeah.
That was a mess, that's all.
In terms of other capital projects, I don't think we have any updates since a week ago.
Yeah, that's true.
So any other questions about LED lighting or anything else with capital plan?
Yes.
We'll look at it again
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
2-3 weeks.
And good luck.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to library bookkeeping.
I was supposed to have a conversation with Wes Levy at Lotta Rec and Amen on Wednesday after the last board meeting. He had to reschedule. We've been playing phone tag. He is a difficult person to get a hold of. He has an office number, but I guess he's often out with clients. He has a cell phone, so I'm confident I'll be able to talk to him this week and proceed with our conversation about what we talked about, the committee of the whole. So
Right.
I don't really have an update other than I've been trying to get a hold of him. So.
All right. Moving on to new business. If you look on page 39 of your packet, we have an intergovernmental agreement with the Village of Gurnee. Would anyone like to make the motion?
Before we make a motion, do we need a different motion so that we can authorize George as acting
I
president?
saw that too.
Um, I don't know if we need the motion, but we certainly can't go wrong with having made the motion to make sure that he's authorized to sign on.
My thinking, Andrea, was good. It's a good point. My thinking was I would just wait until have Joe sign this at a later date. It doesn't have to be tonight.
Well, but it's something we can do and get it off our plate and move it on, because we've discussed it, we're all in agreement, I don't think anybody disagreed.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I would have to check to make sure it's. I mean, I think it's probably not a problem for George to sign this. I mean, we can always have you sign it and I can double check before I send it off to
Fair
him.
enough?
So,
I
it's
move that
fine.
we authorize George Katsinas as acting president to sign as president on this form. Do I get a
I
second?
second it.
Are there any
All in
questions?
favor?
Sorry.
Aye.
Nays?
Aye.
Nays?
I didn't realize we were taking.
There's so few of us.
Okay. Ayes have it.
Okay.
Okay, now the motion.
Yeah, there's that.
I move to accept the internet intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Gurnee and Warren Newport Public Library District to contract for the repair and maintenance of parking lots.
I'll second. All right. Any other discussion?
Is there gonna be a roll call or a voice
Yes,
vote?
Yeah.
we'll need a roll call for this one.
Cheng,
Aye.
Farkapisi,
Aye.
Sutton,
Aye.
Kotsinis,
Aye.
absent, Kedman, Linsdau, and Beckwith. Ayes have it.
No. Ketman is no longer on the board. We've
Yes.
accepted her resignation.
All right.
Today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
That's correct. Thank you.
Good catch.
All right. That's the last new business item. Anything else for the March 2019 regular meeting that we want to add to that agenda?
Well, the resolution for Kathy Ketman,
Okay, so we'll push that to the,
an exec session to talk about the
yeah,
vacancy.
I will say, let's also push the exec session onto that one,
Right.
since we have previously decided we don't have enough people to decide who's going to be our new policy chair, so let's move that on there as well.
Yeah. Mhm.
So that's 3 items. Anything else?
Maybe there may be some overflow from committee of the whole. We'll know more at committee of the whole.
Yep.
There's
Mm.
further budget discussion needed at the meeting.
All right, we are skipping 16 and 17. That takes us to public forum. No one here? Okay. Announcements. Anything beyond what we see in the list already?
I will say that I know that Joe wanted to point out, I mean, she might have at the last committee of the whole, that Oak Brook trustee workshop, she plans to attend, and it's, I think she still plans to attend, it's about succession planning for boards, so it's a pretty good topic, so I don't know if there's any other interest in attending that, but I know she was planning on going, so.
Anyone, anything else? If not, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So
Oh, I'm
Wait,
sorry,
wait.
one more thing, I don't know if we want to talk about this, there was, I passed around Tom Beckwith's obituary,
Right.
and there was the suggestion to maybe pool together some funds to donate to
Yeah.
that, so that's something that we might have taken a shiv on doing. I don't know if that's something the board wants to do as a board. I was thinking, I think, I'll ask staff, I'll lead staff efforts to do that, see if anyone on staff wants to do that. Or if
I
we
think
want
the board
to, I don't know if we
should.
want to collaborate, as a WNPL family, I don't know what the board thinks. I think either way is probably fine, but.
Sure.
I think we should do flowers at
At
the
the
memorial.
at the memorial.
And then,
The
we
board
have
or-
our memorial bricks too, and he was such a big part of our community.
Hmm.
That's a good idea.
Mhm.
That's a good idea.
Well, do we want to go in as just a WNPL, as a family, or do we want to do something separate from the board of
I'll do
trustees?
whatever
I
you
mean,
want to do.
it doesn't matter to me.
What do you think, I'd like to ask Noreen what her opinion is, just because.
I
I
think
don't know
that if
this-
you did it, you'd do it as a board, or you would do it as individuals,
Okay.
but the staff.
The staff is
would
going
probably
to take
do
care of,
something
that's
on
kind of
their
what I
own.
was thinking, separate.
Yeah.
So
But
I
I mean,
can,
you could say, we're not gonna do it as a full board, we're just gonna do our individual.
or I can do it, and, I'm secretary, I'll do it.
If you do it, I'll be happy to
Okay.
contribute my part.
Okay, and do we want to contribute to the memorial fund, or how do we want to do it?
I think the Memorial Fund is probably the best place.
I think so too, that's Tom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so that was in here?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
it's a Tom Beckwith Memorial Music Award to provide an annual college scholarship for a WTHS band person, so I think that's wonderful. So if you guys want to, I'll send it in, but you can tell me what you want to send, or you can send me a check or a check, whatever you tell me, I'll take care of it, and then you can pay me.
So,
What do you want to do?
you contribute to this online, or you just give?
It's to be sent to Joe.
Oh,
So that's what, I
okay.
think that's what says Kara Jo Beckwith, so at a box, they've got a box.
And
But I can write a note on it
Yeah.
from us.
And to make it easy for you, if you want, we can collect it here, and then you can come stop by. If you
Okay.
want to do it that way. We can collaborate on that.
Okay.
That makes it easier.
It doesn't, I mean, if we want to do two separate, or you want to do it together?
No, I'm talking about for the
For
board
just the board.
specifically.
Okay.
That way you don't have
Yeah.
to,
Sure.
Yeah.
However we want to do it. I can come get it next week or something, or if you wanted.
Do you want like a date so that you know when?
Sorry?
Do you want
Yeah.
a date that it's kind of?
What's today anyway?
19th,
Tuesday.
February 19th.
Yeah, do you want to do it by the weekend, by Saturday or something?
So just give you a check for.
Or you
any
can give me a
amount you
check right
want?
now, that's fine, however you want to do it.
Check.
And then I'll just, I'll talk to Kathleen, and I know that Ann is on vacation, so I could email her, although, maybe
Will she be
I
back
hate
this
to bother
weekend, I
her.
think?
I
or
don't
is she
know.
coming longer?
I don't know. I hate to text her, and she may not even, does she, I mean, maybe she doesn't even know,
That's probably true.
you know?
She doesn't know she's on vacation.
I know, should we just let it go?
If she's back this weekend, you'll still have time.
I
to-
can email her, can I email her through our own WNPL?
That would be appropriate,
And I'll
yes.
do
Yeah.
that. I'll email, and I'll talk to Kathleen, because she's been asking me, so.
Okay.
And then, so, yeah, however you guys want to do it. You can leave it in an envelope here. Does that work for everybody?
So,
And then I can come by and pick it up
fine,
Sunday or
is that
something.
fine with you? For
Yeah,
leaving?
that's fine, yeah, absolutely.
Just see Gina.
Yeah,
That'll work.
but you're not here Sunday, so how about Monday?
Yeah, that's fine.
Does that sound
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so by Monday, what would that be, the 25th? I am working that day, I have to remember.
If you come on during the day, you can stop at the
Until- by
administration, but
4.
if it's after my hours, I can put just an envelope at the front desk.
Okay.
And Eddie or anybody
Okay,
will take
okay,
care of that one.
that sounds good.
Mhm.
Okay, Monday the 25th. Oh, Kathleen, okay. And then I'll get a card and I'll sign all our names, or I can just say the board.
All right, anything
Okay.
else? Anyone?
I move to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Can stay here. All right.
Okay,
Thanks,
7:33.
everybody.